Welcome to Want More with Dr. Moore, the Criminologist of the Bay. Your host, Dr. Talia Moore, is a college professor who created this space to discuss and facilitate transformation in learning. Each week, we'll bring you dynamic leaders and change makers and discuss systems, practices, policies, and people that intersect and impact justice as we know it. And now your host, Dr. Talia Moore.
Welcome to Want More with Dr. Moore, the Criminologist of the Bay. My name is Dr. Talia Moore, and I am your host. Today, we will be discussing Jeffrey Epstein, the wealthy financier who lived in luxury while building a sex trafficking ring around underage girls. And we will peel back the layers of this high-profile scandal to uncover the truth. But this isn't just about power and privilege. It's about the teenage victims whose lives were forever altered. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier with connections that stretched into royalty, science, politics, and even California's own Silicon Valley. He flew private jets with presidents, owned a private island, and moved in circles that most people only see in tabloids. But behind the high walls of mansions, something horrific was happening. Epstein was grooming, abusing, and trafficking girls, some as young as 14 years of age. The powerful protect each other, but victims, especially young girls, often suffer in silence, unseen and unheard. This episode is about giving them a voice. In 2005, a 14-year-old girl told police in Palm Beach that she had been taken to Epstein's mansion. She said she was paid to give him a massage and that it turned into something else, as I'm sure we all can imagine. Her report sparked an investigation, but it would take more than a decade before he would be consequenced and before we would truly listen. Epstein was arrested in 2006, but instead of facing federal charges for trafficking like most people would, he was able to strike a secret deal. U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta approved a plea deal that gave Epstein just 13 months in a county jail, where he had work release 6 days of the week. That is crazy. So in a sentence of 13 months, he served 1 day a week in custody. His victims weren't even told about this secret arrangement. In 2015, Virginia Giuffre came forward. She alleged that Epstein and his associate, Maxwell, trafficked her to powerful men when she was a minor. Slowly, more victims stepped into the light. They weren't sex workers. They were children. They were lured with promises of modeling opportunities, school tuition, even groceries for their families. What they got was trauma, silence, and shame. Some survivors described years of nightmares, substance abuse, trust issues, anxiety, all kinds of levels of PTSD. One woman, Sarah Ransom, said she tried to swim off Epstein's private island to escape him. Another said she was recruited by a friend at school who was also just 14 years of age. They carried the weight of what was done to them in their bodies, their minds, and into their relationships. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again, this time on federal sex trafficking charges. The press swarmed. The Me Too movement gave victims a louder megaphone, and Epstein's luxurious properties were raided. Dozens of girls, now grown women, began to tell their stories. And then, boop, he was gone. August 10th, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his Manhattan jail cell. The official cause was ruled a suicide, but the surveillance cameras failed and the guards were reportedly asleep. Some conspiracy theories, as you can imagine, they spread like the LA wildfires. Did someone silence him? Was Jeffrey Epstein intentionally unalived? In 2021, Ghislaine Maxwell, she stood trial. She was found guilty of 5 counts related to child sex trafficking. But many still feel justice is incomplete. There's no client list, no full accountability for the men who benefited from Epstein's crimes. There were girls we'll never hear from, those who never came forward, those whose lives were lost to addiction, mental illness, or quiet despair. They were failed, not just by Epstein and Maxwell, but by a justice system that valued power over protection. But there's also resilience. Women like Virginia Giuffre, Courtney Wild, and others are still fighting for transparency, for restitution, and for the truth. Laws are being challenged. Survivors are suing Epstein's estate, and public eyes are now watching. Epstein's story isn't just about one man. It's about the systems that allowed a predator to hide in plain sight. But as more victims speak and as more people listen, silence becomes impossible. To the survivors, we hear you. And to our listeners, stay informed. Ask hard questions because the next Epstein is out there hiding behind wealth and charm. And anyone needs to speak up. Thank you for tuning in to Want More with Dr. Moore, the Criminologist of the Bay. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, share to help amplify stories that need to be heard. I challenge each of you to take the information into your communities, whether it's through advocacy, volunteering, or simply educating yourself and those around you. Remember, you can make a difference. Until next time, educate, empower, and enact the changes you want to see. Want more?
Want more with Dr. Moore, the Criminologist of the Bay? Follow us on Facebook at Want More, Instagram at Want More Dr. Moore, and on TikTok at Want More with Dr. Moore for more information. Be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, educate, empower, and enact the changes you want to see. Want more?